After a billion-dollar hailstorm hits an area, your focus should be on running your business, not on insurance claims. We have helped streamline the insurance process for hundreds of roofing contractors across the U.S., and we can do it for yours too. Visit us online at c3adjusters.com and learn how we can help save you time and get claims paid faster.
Happy Monday, Hail Stalkers. Lead meteorologist Sean Shoke here for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast, sponsored by C3 Group. I hope you guys had a good weekend. We don't have a whole lot going on in terms of the forecast today, but we are going to be going over what happened so far in 2018, how as the hail season, the peak season has passed. We're now in July. How is it going to compare to previous years? Get into that in just a second. You can watch us on the app, so if you're out there working right now and you're watching us on Facebook, you got off the app, went on Facebook to watch our video, you can just hit that lightning bolt in the lower right hand corner of the screen. That'll bring up the video for you to watch and continue doing your work. You can't do any comments through there yet, but you can just watch the video, and if you're more interested in what's going on, you can always rotate the landscape mode and you get the full screen effect. So make sure you also have notifications set up. It's a quieter time of year, but you know, we do the forecast every single day, and you never know, a surprise storm can always happen here in July. Those typically are the types of storms that happen in the month of July, the more surprise events. So that's why you really got to make sure those notifications set up. Notification settings, notification options. You got 3 different ways to get them: through the app, through your email, or on your desktop, and you can customize it to what you need, whether it's on your city that you work, or multiple cities, whole state, or the entire nation. Get that up for your business needs. And of course, the forecast goes out to everybody, so you get at least one notification every single day. And now we go into how is the hail season so far this year. I'm sure most of you guys who are watching, unless you're in Colorado or in the Dallas area, especially Colorado is probably the only place in the country that's had a great hail year. Everyone else has had a pretty suboptimal year. And just for the sheer numbers of it all, this is what we're at year to date, or year to June 30th. I'm not counting anything in July yet. We had 4,461 hail reports. Just as a point of reference, 2017 had 6,717 reports at this point. So obviously it's a much, much quieter number. And you can see in May, if you guys watched any at the beginning of June, in May we ended up being just barely below what we had in 2017. So we made up some ground, and then here in June we were pretty close to what we were last year as well. If you recall, in 2017 June kind of slowed down quite a bit, but for 2018, in fact, that we got pretty close to what the heck. I killed, for some reason my camera keeps going into sleep mode even though I disabled that, but whatever. So either way, it looks like things were busier in June, and in terms of actual places getting hit, it was significantly busier as well. So you guys know we're now at 7 5-star maps for the year so far. 4 of the 7 happened in the month of June. We had 2 in the Denver area, 1 in Colorado Springs, and in the storm in Carrollton, Texas, in the Dallas area. All of them happened in the month of June, so obviously that skews things up quite a bit. But if you notice here, 100 plus days, we had 1 day of over 100 hail reports over the course of this past month, bringing our grand total to a pretty lousy 11. We had 11 150 plus days in 2017, and we've had a whole 2 of those this year. None over 200, none over 300, unlike 2017 where we had 6 over 200 and even 1 over 300 hail reports that happened over a Memorial Day weekend last year. So again, this year has been really quiet comparatively to prior years. The big culprit of that, if I just jump back up, is April. March and April were really brutal for us in terms of like killing our numbers. April is one of the quietest on record, and even then May was active, however it didn't hit that much. Again, we had 3 5-star maps over the course of January through the end of May. So even though we had quite of an average amount of hail happening, a pretty active amount of hail, didn't hit a whole lot. So that really kind of screwed the numbers a little bit. But June made up for it. If you're in Colorado, if you went and you're working in Colorado, you guys know the Front Range is probably having their best year ever this year, but unfortunately that's the only part of the country that's had a great year. I'd say Texas has had a fairly average year. You had a couple of pretty good storms in the Dallas area. You had one good storm in the Dallas area that didn't hit McKinney and places that have been hit a bunch of times. Lubbock got a really good storm, and there was some pretty good storms scattered about through the rest of the state. So the two states that get hit with hail the most, Colorado and Texas, come out on top, and everyone else is kind of left sitting and wondering why this year has kind of sucked. So that's what we're looking at so far. If you're wondering, the year-to-date average is 5,202. So the first 6 months of the year, you're usually trying to get closer to 5,000 reports, and we have had the least active year at least since 2010, other than 2014, which was another notoriously really crummy year for hail. So that is pretty much what we looked at so far this year. Unfortunately, we're going to come out below average, which is just crazy. I mean, you guys, if you followed us, you saw our adjusted forecast and everything, and I explained why things took a real nosedive in the early spring months. Fortunately, winter did not want to give up, and that kind of killed a good chunk of the reason why we wanted to have an above average year. So anyway, with that, I can just jump ahead to the forecast for today. And the reason why I went over all that stuff is, well, today's not exactly that exciting of a hail forecast. So we have a chance of getting some hail upwards of tennis ball size. This is along the Canadian, Montana and North Dakota borders. And that hail will be pretty big, but there's not really much here. I put a 5% on Williston. I don't even know how big that town is. I think it's a pretty small town in North Dakota, but it's something, just anything for me to have just to say there's that chance. You got 1 or 2 different storms possible that are going to come through, but again, not that many people. It's really going to be kind of inconsequential. I have a 2% chance in Rapid City, where maybe a storm or two will form in the Black Hills and decide to skirt around the city like they always seem to do. So that's what we're looking at for today. I'll show you the models, show you what we're expecting. Again, there's going to be 1 or 2 pretty angry storms that is going to come moving through this one. That'll probably be a pretty big monster coming through over in the evening hours, but there's not much there to really have any effect. Going forward to tomorrow, we continue to hang around in the Montana area, and you could get some tennis ball size hail again. It's all going to be north of Billings, maybe Great Falls, maybe Glasgow. Those are the only any kind of population centers you have in Montana north of the Billings area. And maybe even some storms if you get further up into Saskatchewan and to Alberta. I know there's some towns scattered about in here where there could be some storms as well. So again, Monday, Tuesday, both looking pretty quiet in terms of what storms are going to be happening. You can see if the models here, I have a national view. You have the storms come roaring through. Maybe if we're lucky, I thought I fixed it, but I clearly did not. I made it worse. So again, new camera, new problems. Seems like this is the case every single day. So anyway, and for those of you wondering, there is Hurricane Chris hanging out down here, or Tropical Storm Chris. Should become a hurricane, not going to affect anybody, so we're not really going to touch on that. We will hopefully shift over to more tropical weather moving forward, but that is not the case, at least for most of this week. 5-day forecast sponsored by C3 Group. There is not a lot to talk about in these next couple days. Chance of 3-star mass really low. Wednesday, still a lower chance, but we have a little bit more population. We're moving into Minnesota. Thursday, continuing the Minnesota area back towards Omaha. And on Friday, yes, a high population. Looks like we could possibly see some storms flirting with the Chicago area. The big question is, are we going to actually get big hail, or is it going to be more of a line of storms? That'll be kind of playing itself out as we move forward through the week. We'll be watching this. Here's Wednesday's forecast. Again, maybe towards Minneapolis, but I think it'll most likely stay north of them. The big focus will be here in central Minnesota. Not a lot of people in there, maybe Bemidji. Thursday and Friday, I missed out on putting screwed that one up. But anyway, Thursday and Friday together here. We have on Thursday, chance for some hail across Wisconsin, northern Iowa, and just north of Omaha. And the Friday area has Chicago, southern sections of Iowa, and over by Omaha. So we'll be watching this through the next few days. This is where the storms are primarily going to be with this pattern. We have a big heat dome in place. Places like Oklahoma City, I see here, we're done. It's just going to be hot. Thankfully not super hot yet, but it's going to be pretty warm, little rain, not much in the way of any thunderstorms. So it's really going to focus in on the Montana area through the Dakotas and then down toward Chicago. Our only real hope for if we're going to get any big time hail maps, it would be Minneapolis, Wisconsin, Chicago, Omaha, areas like that. Everywhere south of there, we're going to have to kind of be sitting and watching and maybe hoping for a hurricane or two as we go through the next month and a half. So with that, I hope, oh, no, there it is. All right, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Follow us on Facebook, hit see first so you don't miss any of our posts. Sometimes we do post like cool hailstorms that might happen internationally or something along the lines of that in quiet times like this, so don't miss out on anything like that. Give us a call, email us, or visit our website, hailtrace.com, with any comments, questions, or concerns. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. I'll see you again tomorrow at 12 p.m. for our daily 12 p.m. hail forecast. I'm meteorologist John Choquette. Hope you have a great rest of your day.